Hey, true believers, Englentine here with a review of Catwoman #1. I did a 10-minute review of Batman #50, and I would suggest you go see that, if you haven't already, kind of the spoilers thing. But really, if you haven't read Batman 50, this does spoil it. So, then again, so did the New York Times. Anywho, we catch up with Catwoman after the events of Batman #50, and it's business as usual. Seriously, they have one scene where they talk about what happened in Batman 50. They don't really talk about it either. It's just her lashing out emotionally. And then, as I said, it's back to business as usual. Seriously, that's it. That's all. That is, I mean, you know, she did what she did, and that's the only emotion we see. That's the only bit about, and I'm not talking about I want some sort of CW staring off in the distance while talking to someone just inches behind her kind of romantic little dreary kind of, I don't need that kind of emotion. I'm not looking for that, but I am looking for some emotion. I'm looking for some semblance of a character here. But what we get is a comic book that, in all honesty, and I'm not kidding about this, in all honesty, it doesn't matter who the character is. This is generic superhero woman #72 who's bouncing around. Somebody's dressing like her, committing crimes. So we get that trope. And that's a good way to put it. This is a comic book filled with tropes. It's not even written, it seems like, as much as it's just somebody combined a whole bunch of tropes to try to create some sort of story. And we deserve better. Catwoman, after all of this time, deserves better. I'm sorry, gang, but for some reason, DC's decided to take the top tier titles and fuck them up. Just mess them up. Make them so we don't care. And I gotta tell you, reading this, I don't care. What are we supposed to be feeling towards Catwoman at this point? She's in the nightlife. Oh, look at the way she lives. It's a high life. I want to be like Catwoman. No, it doesn't work that way. There is nothing to connect you emotionally to this character. And then, out of nowhere, there's apparently some sort of congresswoman who isn't what she seems, and she goes into a room and she takes out, it's just weirdness for weirdness sake, and when we find out that she hired somebody to appear like Catwoman and go out and kill cops and steal something. But once again, we're not emotionally tied. And instead of addressing the issues, instead of basically addressing the elephant in the room, that is Selina Kyle did what she did in Batman #50, it goes off and tells us, instead of caring about that, instead of caring about that bombshell that we just did, we want you to care about all of this stuff. But we don't, or at least I didn't, I should say. I'm using like royal we's and all that kind of stuff. And the truth is I'm sorry. I don't want this told in one spread out 5-year-long story. Let's get to it. Let's get over, because that's what I'm emotionally tied to. That is what I am interested in. I don't give a fuck about some doppelganger Catwoman running around killing people or robbing things. Sorry, you set up a story for 25 issues in Batman. You can't just walk away from it and expect us to be interested. If someone in your family walks into the house with blood all over their clothes and in their hair, they can't just say, hey, you want to watch a rerun of Friends? And then you guys talk about the weird relationship between Joey and Chandler. It just doesn't work that way. You got to ask, what's up with the blood on the clothes and the hair? And that's what this feels like. This cannot be the story that they wanted to tell. This really does seem like, hey, look, Catwoman's popular now again because of the storyline that's being told in Batman. What are we going to do? Well, why don't we give her own book? We can't because they're married. It would seem weird. Okay, well, we'll separate them. This truly does feel like a story that was written by the marketing department. And instead of being organic, instead of being interesting, it feels plastic. It feels incredibly, and I know it's a made-up story, I understand, but we've lived with these characters. There's a certain way we should expect them to act, and that's just from knowing who they are. And it just doesn't feel that way. It feels like they were growing in a certain direction, and then somebody just said, zip, nope, you got to do this now, because the script says so. And the script saying so shouldn't be the guideline. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. I mean, it's a Catwoman comic book, for Christ's sake. I think I am reading too much into it. But when you've been following it for as long as I have, it's one thing to give me something unexpected. It's another thing to completely demolish everything I cared about in the story and then ask me to care about a whole new one without the other one being finished. That being said, the book's a good-looking book. I love that cover, man. I don't even have to point out which one. Holy shiitakes, that's a beautiful-looking cover. And the art's pretty solid on the inside. Coloring's okay. They're a little muted. I could stand for a little bit brighter, but it's Catwoman. She lives in Gotham. They always mute the colors for Gotham books anyway. And I come to expect it. But I enjoy the look of the book. You know, so at least it's got that going for it. But I just don't know if that's enough for me to recommend it. This is... At best, this is a middle-of-the-road book. I can't call it horrible. It's just I can't recommend it. And like I said before, I just cannot believe that at the beginning, when they decided that they're going to have Catwoman and Batman get engaged, I just cannot believe that this was the end goal. I cannot believe that this was the story they wanted to tell. But that's just my opinion. What is yours? Have you bought Catwoman #1? And if so, what did you think about it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Just a little indifferent to it? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like the video, you want to see more, you know the drill. Click like, share to get the word out about the channel. And of course, if you haven't done it already, hit that subscription and the notification bell. Cool things happen around these parts, and I'd hate for you to miss any of it. Also, this is the way I'm trying to make a living, so if you don't mind helping out the channel, go on over to Patreon. For less than the price of a candy bar, you can help us out. Just go drop $1 in the till. Help us keep the lights on. Help us keep making videos for you. I'd like to thank everybody who's already done that, and to everyone, all of the true believers, thank you very, very much for watching.